So about a couple of weeks ago, there were a lot of rumours going around on the internet that the Richmond Football Club were potentially bringing back, and I don't want to say arguably their best player of all time because he is the Richmond Football Club's best player of all time. Rumours going around that Dustin Martin might actually be returning to the footy club and having some type of impact in 2026. Again, this was backed up more and more. I believe this was mentioned, I think possibly even on Fox. They kind of went over it quickly and just kind of talked about the little rumors and all of the above. And the reality is that footy is better with Dustin Martin involved. Again, he is arguably the best player I have ever seen play the game. He is the best player I have ever seen play the game. Let's be honest here. Like, I was re-watching this AFL YouTube video that they posted of every Dustin Martin finals goal, and some of the goals, man, like, at the time they were obviously insane, but re-watching them back, it just made me want to squirt all garlic aioli sauce out of my private parts onto the screen. It was truly orgasmic. It was something super powerful in them, whether it was the Hawthorn goal in 2018 when he kicked it from like the side on the most impossible angle, or in the 2020 grand final where he waited for the big kind of low IQ Reece Stanley ruckman to hand pass it to him instead of Danger, and he kicked it from the boundary, shrugged off the Danger tackle, and had a fantastic goal. Again, the truth is, footy is better with Dustin Martin involved, and whether he does come back to Richmond or not, later in the year, we'll have to discuss it. It's something that I'm going to talk about in this video. But as I was saying, footy is better with Dusty involved. And there's another little report that's been going around for a little bit now, which I really wanted to talk about. And this was from the Advertiser. Now, am I going to, talk about the full report? No, mainly because if you guys really wanted to go and fully read this report, you would of course go and do it. And secondly, I don't have the Advertiser. I'm not subscribed to the Advertiser to go and do this. I'm sub to too many things. I've got freaking Netflix. I've got HBO Max. I've got a Ballad Angels OnlyFans. I really can't fit in another thing to be subscribed to here, so you guys can go check it out if you're subscribed to it. But basically, the article does say AFL legend is tipped to make a shock return for a South Australian football club. AFL champion Dustin Martin is being tipped to pull the boots back on for his first time since retirement and play for a local SA footy club. So again, this is talk that's been going around. I will just reiterate that by the time this video possibly comes out, this may have even happened. Again, if it does happen, he, has played for the footy club, I will have been shocked because I didn't think he would do that, especially to go to South Australia. Again, I really didn't know what the complete reasoning behind this was. Again, it was actually being said, though, that this local football club is going to be Hanador, which is where Ivan Marriage actually plays footy, or I believe did play footy. So essentially the idea is that this would be, only a one-off. Dusty, if he does go and play for them, and if he already has the time making this video play for them, it would be a one-off, and it would just be a little bit for fun. And at the end of the day, he should absolutely do this. Again, does he need to do this? No, he's freaking Dustin Martin. And from all reports, it is being said that John Ralph was actually like the best manager of all time with Dusty. And what I mean by that is that Dusty made all of this money over his footy career. And did I say John Ralph? I meant to say Ralph Carr. Ralph Carr is his manager, not John Ralph. Basically, Dusty made all the money, and from all reports is that Ralph Carr said, look, you make the money and I'll deal with all your money and I'll go and make you some more. So from a lot of reports is that Dusty actually, I think, owns a bunch of different properties. I think he owns a cafe or even maybe a restaurant. Again, it hasn't been truly fully revealed what, of course, he does own. But essentially, Ralph Carr seems to have been a great manager and really didn't mess him over of money and really made sure his future was absolutely secured to the point where if Dusty really wanted to, he could sail the sunset and turn into an Australian version of Charlie Sheen and just drink his days away, do absolutely nothing but just make money and bang really hot chicks. If Dusty really wanted to, he could be the Australian Charlie Sheen. And again, that's another reason why he doesn't need to do this at all. There's no reason for him to ever do anything ever again. But of course, we know Dusty, and I think it was always inevitable that even though he didn't like the cameras, he didn't like the spotlight, he didn't like the media unless he was talking about someone else, I think his return to footy was always going to happen. And whether this local thing does happen or not, just imagine how big a one-off would be for the community, for South Australia. Like, I can just imagine, and I know this because I've been to South Australia. I was there for a whole week, pretty much with, of course, one of my good mates getting married in South Australia. I attended his wedding. I saw I think it was Port Adelaide versus Geelong footy game. I have seen South Australia, and they are truly some of the biggest footy heads around. They absolutely live and breathe footy. There is footy everywhere you go, billboards, ovals, whatever it might be. And I just know, personally, if Dustin Martin played a footy game for one of my local teams, even though there usually be a couple hundred people go to every game, usually 500, maybe even 1,000 if it's an absolute, insane thing going on. I just have a feeling, right? If Dusty did it to my local footy, and of course, whatever this, South Australian footy team is, I just have a feeling that if advertised right and money was to go to charity or something like that, Dusty could almost bring in an audience of 2,000 plus. Now, I don't know how big this stadium is, and we overestimate how much stadiums can actually, truly hold, because we just compare them to the MCG and Marvel and all that. But if you look at a local stadium, a local ground, which is usually in a park, there's a lot of grounds that are, of course, in parks and whatnot. If you do go and put that logic to it, and you packed out a park, you packed out a local ground, you could almost, again, get 2,000+ people. And if you can get 2,000 to 3,000 people, obviously, have this game streamed on, it's not going to be on TV, but maybe on Facebook or whatever, had a bunch of, donations for charity on the stream and at the ground, of course, food trucks everywhere, very similar to the VFL and whatnot. I think you could really make a shit ton of money for a great cause, and that's what I really hope they do. Whether it's for charity, maybe even just building up the local footy club. Maybe this is a perfect opportunity for the local football club to get some donations going. If they had Dusty playing, get the canteen absolutely booming, get a food truck there and whatnot to make a shit ton of money for the ground, maybe a renovation, something like that. The power and name of Dustin Martin is something we've never seen before in the AFL. And I guarantee you, if he went to a local ground, he would pack that shit out to the max and you would have a lot going on. And that's exactly what I hope he does. And it would be really awesome. I think he could definitely go to bed knowing that, holy shit, the impact that I've been able to make here and what I've been able to contribute, it's just not only another thing to my resume, but it's another thing that's going to give me peace of mind and make me feel like a really good person. And I think that's what Dusty would be really feeling. So there's a lot of different ways they can do this. I doubt it will just be him playing in a local game and them not setting up some sort of way to make money for a good cause or for the stadium or whatever it might be. This should be big, and they should make it big. The only reason they shouldn't make it big is if Dusty just wants it to be a cool, calm thing and, just maybe a post on Facebook saying, hey, get down, I'm playing local footy this week, just for a bit of fun. I don't know. But the reality is that there are rumours, and the rumours won't go away, about Dustin Martin returning to Richmond next year as a coaching type of role. Now, I don't think he's going to be like a VFL coach or an AFLW coach or anything like that. I think what he will most likely be is some type of player development coach that's part-time. Dusty, he doesn't need the money. I mean, we've established that already. He's probably still making millions a year from all of his businesses, real estate, all of the above that Ralph Carr has set up, and sponsorships even. Dusty, he does not need money. But for him just to do something and, I guess, not be a full-time Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men and go and do something a little bit different, I think it would be really cool as if maybe they got Dusty in on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you know, or something like that, or maybe the first 3 days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just for him to roam around the club and talk to the young players that the Tigers are going to have. I mean, when you think about it, the Tigers are going to be drafting a minimum of 3 to 4 players in this year's draft. Let's just say they take 4. Then you got the other 2 from, you know, last year, and the 8, or the 2 from the previous year, and then 8 from last year. You do the math on that, you're going to have 14 players in their first 3 years. And that is a lot. That is a lot. And there's still a ton of other young players on the team that would be able to use Dusty's mentorship. There's probably about a good 14 to 18 guys that could really use a guy like Dusty there to help them out. And I mean, whether Dusty's a good coach or whatever he is, if you just pay Dusty to be around the club and it's just him getting out the house, just doing something, you know, a job that's fun and still footy related for him, just for these players to be able to pick the mind of the greatest of all time, just for a couple days a week, is really awesome. Dusty maybe goes out and helps train with the boys, maybe does some boxing with the boys, does some gymming with the boys, mentors them on how he prepared and how he trained and how he was as an AFL player. There are so many different opportunities that they could maybe do here with Dustin Martin that I would love to see. Again, I don't know what it's going to be. I think he'll be some type of player development coach, and he'll just be around for a couple days of the week, very similar to what I think Brendan Favola is doing right now, Richmond's AFLW, and I think to a lesser extent of what Alex Rance is doing with the Gold Coast Suns. Again, it makes a whole lot of sense, and I think it would be a great idea for Dustin Martin. But again, if you haven't already, don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions. Should Dusty make a return to footy, you know, and the Tigers, of course? Should he go out and play this local footy game? You know, what should it be? What is Dustin Martin's future gonna be? Can you see him at the club again? Because I just know having him with Sam Lawler would be such a cool sight, watching them maybe train together, and having him present Sam Lawler, maybe the number 4 in the future, would be so damn iconic, and I would absolutely love to see it. But again, don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Leave a like on the video to let me know you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel for more sports content, more AFL videos. Go subscribe to my gaming/movie channel, link down below, and my Instagram, which will also be getting linked down below. And I guess I'll be seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.